Hello students. Yesterday we were seeing the important topics for the semiconductor devices, and we have studied the topic of PN junction diode and also rectifiers. So here we are just discussing the topic that or applications that are based on the semiconductor diodes. So with the help of semiconductor devices, PN junction diode, we can even make transistors, FET, MOSFETs, gates and ICs. Now in a days, as I told you yesterday, that recent I think 1 week before, a discovery is made up with a Chinese scientist that was based on the also semiconductor PN junction diode, and with the help of semiconductors they are now able to produce the superconductor devices. And with the help of superconductors we are using actually that in MRIs machines and in microprocessors that I have told you before. Even if we are able to construct a microprocessor with the help of superconductor, then obviously that device will give us more time to use our mobiles, our electronic devices. Suppose that here in this time we are charging our devices and our battery lasts in only 4, 5, 6 hours after its use. But even if a microprocessor that is using superconductor devices, that is based on the semiconductor devices actually, that will be able to give us supply for nearly 1 week. Means only after one time charging we can use our electronic devices for 1 week. So this is the basic applications, but here we are just saying the basic applications that we were just discovered in starting, like rectifiers. So rectifiers we are used to convert alternating current into direct current. So in our power supply we cannot supply our alternating current to any of our electronic instrument, otherwise they will not actually work properly. So for that we use direct current, and every electronic system has its own power supply. A power supply that you have known already in your homes main circuit, but even in our every electronic instrument nowadays power supply system is given, and that power supply system contains rectifiers, filters and voltage regulators. So these all devices we can make with the use of semiconductor devices easily. So one by one we are seeing the components of power supply. Like in power supply, the first factor is that we have to convert our AC signal into DC signal. So with the help of rectifiers we can convert it very easily. Like we have used half wave rectifier, then half of the signal of AC, only positive cycle of the AC we were able to convert it, and for negative cycle it is not conducting. But even if we are using two diodes, that gives us full wave rectifier, and also for negative half cycle it provides us positive half cycle. So that's why we are now able to get to unidirectional current with the help of full wave rectifier. I just told you that we can use 4 diodes also. Like as we have studied the Wheatstone bridge or AC bridges. So if we construct AC bridge with the help of 4 diodes, then that bridge will also be able to give us rectified signal, and in that case actually 2 of the diodes for positive half cycle they will be in conducting state, and 2 of the diode that will be in non-conducting, and after for negative half cycle 2 of the diodes are in conducting states and 2 of the diodes are in non-conducting. So here we are now able to even save our power more than the full wave rectifier. So time by time we actually do the experiments to reduce the loss of powers, because we want to save our fuels, and nearly 86% signals we can convert into DC, and some of the signals can be lost due to diodes we are using, and also due to transformer their heat loss losses produces, and some of losses you already know that are produces. So that's why power loss factor appears there. So today let's see in important topics the Zener diode and photodiode. So you know that Zener diode is also an application of PN junction diode. So as you know, we have two types of biasing: forward biasing and reverse biasing. So we can use these two biasings according to our need. In forward biasing, we know that only for a small change in voltage there is a large change in current that can be obtained. So forward biasing can be used there. We have to produce electricity or electric current, electric voltage. There we can use this biasing easily. Like in solar cells, we are converting solar energy into electrical energy. So for that case, forward biasing is more preferable than the reverse biasing. As in reverse bias, we have seen that before breakdown there is no current obtained. So if solar intensity is, suppose that is not sufficient to cause the production of more electrons, then in that case we will not be able to get the electricity. And also you know that there the current is obtained in microampere. So our home at least we need milliampere current. So that's why that things we cannot use for our daily purpose. So we use forward bias here. And like ampere, here we are actually converting the signals into electrical signal. Then in that case we use forward bias. Okay. Now where we can use the reverse bias? Actually reverse bias has a special property, the breakdown property. We can use that breakdown property very easily. Even we have used it in rectifier also. We have just taken a diode whose breakdown voltage, if we know, means we have to take the diode whose breakdown voltage should be greater than the signal we have applied to rectify, otherwise we will get again an output AC signal. So to convert it into DC signal, we need to take diode that has breakdown greater than the supply. Okay? So we are using forward bias here, but here we are using also the knowledge of reverse bias here. In Zener diode and in photodiode, both types of devices that are based on the reverse biasing characteristics of the diode. So in reverse bias characteristics, as we know that when we join as P type to negative terminal of the battery and N type to the positive terminal of the battery, for that case we get the reverse bias. And in starting the supply that support the barrier potential, so that the repulsion power of barrier potential increases. So no of the charge carriers that are able to flow, that are able to cross the junction, and after some time when a sufficient electricity is generated inside the junction due to increase in potential barrier, then covalent bonds break down, and due to breaking of covalent bond, charge carriers are produced in the junction, and that's why we get sudden increase in current that we know as avalanche breakdown. Okay? And if we want to change this voltage, avalanche breakdown voltage, or the characteristics of avalanche breakdown, then what we can do actually, we can, if we suppose that we are changing the doping or mixing of trivalent and pentavalent atoms, obviously we can change here doping concentration. As I told you, according to a need of our voltage, current or characteristics, we can change the doping concentration. That's why semiconductor devices has a huge build. We can use it in many electronic, even all of the electronics are based on the semiconductor devices, and we are now able to use it in every field nearly. So the reason is that we are using here mixing process, doping process. So if we are changing the doping concentration according to the characteristics get changed out. So in case of Zener diode, we use high doping, means we are increasing the concentration of trivalent atom and pentavalent atoms that are doped in fourth group elements like germanium and silicon. It means that there are increased number of holes and electrons are there. So basically Zener diode is the highly doped PN junction diode. And if we doped it highly, then obviously the PN junction diode is size is same. then in that case the depletion region width that becomes narrow. So even we will increase the doping, the depletion region width that becomes narrower and narrower with increase in its doping of the pentavalent and trivalent atoms. So the rest of the characteristics for forward bias is same. Only reverse bias characteristics changes here. So I will tell you why we will use it only in reverse bias. So suppose this is p type, this is n type. First of all, let's make a diagram for this. In p type materials we have acceptor atoms and holes are attached to it, and when a junction is formed here, then it is converted into acceptor ions. In n-type materials here we have donor atoms, and when they are converted comes to here, and they are accumulated as the donor ions. Voice sharing, okay? So here the acceptor ions and donor ions that are accumulated at the junction, and due to that junction potential is formed here. Now suppose that if we are adding it in the forward bias. So in forward bias we have connected P to positive terminal and to negative terminal of the battery. You know that and when we just do it, then obviously you are saying that this potential is opposing the barrier potential, and due to that they are creating attractive forces to the junctions, and now they are able to cross the junction after some voltage. So in the case where already number of electrons and holes are greater, then here and depletion region width is narrow. So then in this case electrons and holes can cross the junction very easily, even at very low voltage. So only the difference in forward bias characteristics of Zener diode and PN junction diode is that due to high doping in Zener diode we get current, large current at some small voltage, and in PN junction diode we get that current even some greater voltage. So only that is the difference in the forward characteristics of Zener and PN junction diode. Even if you see the characteristics, that characteristics is same. Only the change is that here we can get the large current at a small voltage. So if we can get the same characteristics with the help of PN junction diode, then we don't have to waste our atoms or elements that we are mixing. Okay? So don't that's why we don't use Zener diode in forward bias, as already we have PN junction diode that is working in the same way. So we use forward biasing only PN junction diode. Clear? And now let's see what is the different things when we are doing here reverse biasing. You have already seen that, but still let's see it again. Here we just when we connect P to negative and to positive, then here we are seeing that this now this potential, external potential, is supporting the barrier potential, and due to its support the intensity, the here strength of barrier potential that is increases. So due to increase in barrier potential, it opposes in the great way to these charged particles, and in starting there is no charged particle that can cross the junction. Even here this potential is already due to high doping is high. So its strength is already high, and now we are just supporting its strength by some addition of potential to the external battery. So here if its strength is increases, in that case even very few minority carriers are here actually, and also resistance here is greater. So that's why in starting we get nearly zero current in case of Zener diode, but still we can get some of the few currents here due to minority charge carriers. So this at this point this is same as the reverse characteristics of the PN junction diode. Now let's see what will be the case when breakdown occurs here. So ultimately here already sufficient potential is here, and this depletion region width is already narrow, and now we are increasing this external supply. So due to increase in this supply, this is B, this is A. So due to increase in supply, obviously here the potential will increase here. and also due to increase in potential, electric field intensity will increase here, and also due to increase in electric field intensity, covalent bond breakdown. And obviously if covalent bonds break down, then depletion region width is narrow, they will collide and they will break other covalent bond. So in this case, as the electric field intensity is sufficient to break all covalent bonds at the same time, so here suddenly all the covalent bonds get break down and we get a sudden increase in current, and that current becomes constant here. So simple, if covalent, we need to break the covalent bonds, then we need to supply some external energy to it, and this electric potential, electric field intensity already that is sufficient here to break all covalent bond at the same time, at the single time. So that's why suddenly at a single voltage all the covalent bonds get break down here, and a constant current is obtained in this way. So the characteristics that is obtained in case of Zener diode due to high doping is different in this way. In case of reverse biasing, this electric field strength was not sufficient to break all the covalent bonds at the same time. Covalent bonds get break down time by time, and that's why the characteristics we have obtained, that was something like that. Means it increases with increase in potential here. But in this case of Zener diode, directly all the bonds get break down and finally it becomes constant. So where we can use just characteristics of Zener diode. This constant nature, constant current of Zener diode can be used to construct regulators. The work of regulator is to provide a constant voltage or constant current. Like in stabilizer, we are using the regulators and in our home. So for that stabilizer, we are fixing it at some fixed voltage. Like suppose that if we want to fix its supply at 200 volt, at 220 volt, at 180 volt, 190 volt. So for that a regulator is provided there. So to construct that regulator we can use Zener diode, and these characteristics of Zener diode, as at a particular voltage current is constant, resistance is already constant, so here the product will be constant and voltage will be continuously, that will be constant. Means if there will be decrease, suppose that due to some reason or due to supply there is fluctuation in our AC signal. So due to fluctuation, voltage can increase or voltage can decrease. Like in rainy season, we are seeing that suddenly voltage get increased here. So in that case, regulators can save our devices by keeps it in at a constant voltage, constant supply. Suppose here suddenly voltage get increased here, and here we are seeing that due to increase in voltage, if current is constant, then there will be no effect after increase in voltage on this current. So even voltage gets increased and after that current is constant. So the multiplication of current and resistance, that is constant. So here if that product is constant, then voltage will be at constant supply. Means if even supply will increase suddenly, but due to it's our regulator that we are using, due to stabilizer that we are using, the voltage that is supplying to our instruments, that will remain at 200 volt if we have fixed it at 200 volt. And now if suppose that voltage is decreasing here, so if due to decrease in voltage, obviously current will decrease also. So due to decrease in current, resistance increase, and finally due to increase in resistance, the product will again will be same, and finally we will get the constant current. So with the help of this characteristic of Zener diode, we can use it to construct regulators. And even you know that in case of PN junction diodes and the devices that are made with the help of PN junction diode, here the Joule's heating effect is very low. So if heating effect is not producing, then due to increase in voltage or there will be no harm to our devices that we have made on based on the semiconductor, like we have used Zener diode in regulators. So suddenly if there is increase in voltage, then our stabilizers would also down, like if sudden increased supply can is provided to any our fans, our bulb and others instruments, electrical instruments that we are using. So we see that instruments when some of the instruments get burned out, and some of the instruments stop to work properly. So why in stabilizer this is not using? So due to the region here, Joule's heating is very low. Heating effect that is produced in case of diode valve when we were using that, that is already we have reduced that problem with the help of this. So this is the reason that we can use it to construct our devices, to construct our electronic circuit. That's why nowadays we are using it at the huge scale. We are even trying to construct every devices, every electronic chips with the help of semiconductor devices. So this is the reason behind the use of semiconductor devices. First of thing is that they are available very easily. The cost is very low. The manufacturing is very easy for them, and also simple in manufacturing. As you know that we are using the doping process, so chemically it is very easy, and even to diffuse them, to construct a PN junction diode, Zener diode and other diodes, that is very easy. So even for the conversion of energy we are using that, like we can convert solar energy into electrical supply with the help of solar cells, and in that case we are also using the PN junction diode. In LEDs we are using, in photodiodes we are using. So I think the case of Zener diode and its importance, that is I think you have understood that. And also the one thing here, the important thing that can be asked in your examination, this is the reverse Zener breakdown. So topic can be asked, what is the difference in avalanche breakdown and Zener breakdown, and I just told you reason that here electric field intensity is sufficient to cause the breakdown of a covalent bonding at the same time. So because its intensity is very high, so due to high intensity of electric field, here covalent bond gets breakdown at the single time, so here we get constant current. But in case of avalanche breakdown, as doping concentration is very low, so due to low doping concentration, the depletion region is already that is shorter than the other. So if width is greater, field intensity is low, so that field intensity is not sufficient to break all the covalent bonds at the single time. That break covalent bonds will increase in its intensity. So that's why we get this types of characteristics. Will continually with increase in voltage we are getting increase in current due to continuous breaking of covalent bonds here. So this is the difference in Zener breakdown and covalent breakdown. You have to remember this point, and also just remind this picture in your mind, this circuit diagram, that will help you to understand all the topics in the semiconductor devices that you are studying. So the next topic that we have to study here, that is the photodiode. So I think the case of Zener diode and why we are using it only in reverse bias, that has clear to you. We can also use it in forward bias, but there is no need to waste our elements to mix for the to get the forward bias here. We can get that characteristics with the help of even forward bias in case of PN junction diode, where we are using low concentration of for the doping. So that is more preferable for than that. but in reverse bias, as we are getting the different characteristics, so that's why we use for this to construct the regulators with the help of it. Okay? Now suppose two things of the power supply we have discussed here. Actually with the use, I am just telling you what is the component of power supply that we are using in our electronic circuits. First of all, we have used rectifiers to convert the AC signal into DC signal, and now that DC signal can fluctuate. So and also here you don't have to study the filters, but after that we use filter circuit that can filter unwanted signals, unwanted AC signals, as there are only 86% of the signals that is converting into DC. So most some of the signals that will also contain AC signals, so we have to block that AC signal because of that due to that AC signal our circuit or our devices there will be some leakage current, and that leakage current is not suitable for the devices, so we have to reduce that, we have to fix that. For that we use filter circuit to filter the unwanted signals from there. So in the filter circuits we use the combination of resistor and capacitor. With the help of that we can easily filter that. So LC filter, pi filter, all the filters are there for the filter of the AC into DC completely. And now we have filtered it, and again due to change in supply of AC signal, voltage is fluctuating, supply is fluctuating, like with increase in supply there is increase in the voltage of also DC, and there is a decrease in AC, there is decrease in DC also. But we need a constant supply for the proper working, so that our electronic instruments can work properly. For that case we can use regulators there. So regulators provide us a constant voltage, a constant supply. So in power supply these three components we have discussed, clear? And after that, actually after regulator we can use this we can use potential divider circuit, like if we are using the main supply, suppose that we are talking about the main supply. So in main supply, that constant supply is divided to different parts of our home. So for that we use a divider circuit, potential divider circuit, so that divides potential with the help of or according to our need. So this is the main components of the power supply, and even power supply systems we have discussed here. I think there is no confusion. And in case of photodiodes, the next device we have to study. Photodiodes, I have told you we also use this device in reverse bias. As by name here photo, it means that here we are using photons as the external supply to cause breakdown, to cause breaking of covalent bonds. So here photoelectric effect, that is the principle of photodiode. You know that in case of photoelectric effect, suppose this is a metal surface, when electromagnetic radiation falls on this metal surface, and that if this is of suitable frequency, it means suitable frequency means that its frequency or its energy should be greater than the work function of the metal. And the work function of the metal is simply that the energy needed to remove one electron from the metal surface, that is known as its work function. So if work function is suppose that 2 joule, then we need electromagnetic radiation that should have energy greater than this energy, clear? So if greater energy we have supplied, then that electron will be able to overcome the potential barrier of the atom, and after that it will get free, and we can get free electron, free charge carriers. In the moment of that, here an electrical supply can be obtained in the circuit. So this is the basic principle for the photodiodes, that is photoelectric emission or photoelectric effect. So where we can use it in forward bias, suppose that we are using the electromagnetic signal or solar energy. Actually don't be confused when we are talking about about solar cell and photodiodes. Both are the principle is same here. Also in case of solar cells we are using solar energy to break the covalent bonds, but the only difference in both the diodes, that is solar cells are used in forward biasing characteristic, and also we use this in reverse biasing. So why we use actually in reverse biasing? Because photodiodes are we use it to measure the intensity of radiation. So due to measure in intensity of radiation, for that we have to do. In diodes we know that we have majority carriers and minority carriers. Like in case of suppose that p-type material we are talking about. So in p-type materials majority carriers are holes and minority carriers are electrons. So holes is that I'm just so this is holes and this is electron, and we know that starting holes are greater than in amount, this is greater than the number of electrons present in the p-type material. And if solar radiations that are incident on the junction, the depletion region junction that is formed, we are allowed now electromagnetic radiation are allowed to fall on it, and due to external supply, due to increase in energy, you know that photoelectric emission that will take place, means electron hole pair is formed there. So due to formation of electron hole pair, charge carriers are developed. It means that number of majority carriers and minority carriers that will increase the same number, because you know that electron hole pair are produced here. So electron and holes that are producing due to supply of solar cells or solar energy, that will be same. So if we are seeing here the difference now that is created in majority and minority carriers due to production of this electron hole pairs, that is not very much here, only this difference is not already greater, and here we cannot even calculate greater change in case of majority or minority, but when we are using it in reverse bias. So in case of reverse bias, if the supply is not sufficient to cause breakdown, so before it you know that minority carriers plays an important role there, and when electron hole pairs are developed there, so minority carriers number increased and majority carriers number also increases there. But even if breakdown is not occurred, then majority carriers plays no role that time. Minority carriers can play an important role, and due to increase in minority carrier intensity of current that we are obtaining in minority carriers, that will increase with increase in intensity of the radiation. Think you are now able to understand it. If we are using external supply to cause this breakdown, so for that electron hole pair that will be produced, and if excess of electron holes are produced, then this will increase the number of minority and majority charge carriers. So if in case of reverse bias, before breakdown you know that current is obtained due to minority carriers, and obviously if number of charge carriers, number of minority charge carriers that is increasing due to increase in supply, due to increase in intensity of supply, then obviously this current intensity will also increase here. So with the comparison of this current intensity, we can even compare the intensity of radiation. So we use photodiodes to compare intensity of radiation. So that's why we always use it in reverse bias only. We don't use it in forward bias, because in forward characteristics the dominant factor is there, majority carriers, and number of majority carriers is already high. Some of the charges will be added here, so that will not affect too much to the supply. So we will not be able to even compare the supply here, but we can compare the intensity in the greater way when we are talking about the minority carriers. So that's why to compare the intensities, to determine the intensity, we use it in reverse bias. So in next class we will discuss the working of photodiode, circuit diagram of photodiode, and characteristics that is follows we will discuss, and applications we will discuss in next class, guys. I think whatever we have discussed today, that is clear. So let's end the class here.